Everyone's likely heard the phrase, count your blessings, right? But I believe that actually living in gratitude is more than that. It's more than just a saying, it's an action. Now, you can do this in many different ways. You can pray and thank God for the blessings that you enjoy, even out loud, maybe. A lot of people like to write them down in a journal. Let's talk today about 3 areas of your life where you can really amp up the gratitude and see a big difference and change in your life for the better. Hi, I'm Diane LaFoon, and I'm here with your Joy Tip of the Week, and I would love to hear from you. Tell me right now, what is something that you're grateful for right in this moment? It can be big or small, anything at all. Right now, tell us below what you are grateful for this minute. And I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for you. Thanks for watching. I sure do appreciate it. So when we take the time to truly recognize what we have, what we can appreciate around us, what we have to be thankful for, and thank God for it, or thank the person that has blessed us for whatever the blessing was, we get a lot more out of life. And we get a lot more out of our experiences that we enjoy. It just makes living worthwhile. And there are several times in our lives where it might not be as easy to live in gratitude and think of those things that we're grateful for. But the more we practice it, the better we become at it. So we're going to talk today about 3 aspects of our lives where we can increase that gratitude. And actually, in doing that, we increase our joy as well. And so the first one is that you've got to be aware that living in gratitude is an actual choice. It's an action. It's something that you do on purpose. And it's the most powerful way that you can increase your joy and increase your mood and be better off in your outlook on life. So when we take the time to enjoy the life we've been given, rather than living just passive day to day, going through life doing the motions, our whole outlook on life changes for the better. We get more out of life. It's more of an enriching life. Our experiences become more meaningful for us and worthwhile. And the trivial things that we like to complain about or that might make life difficult just kind of fade away to the background when we start to look and make an effort to choose those things that are going to bring us joy and to appreciate those things that we can be grateful for. I had the chance to listen just in the last week to a podcast. It was an interview with singer-songwriter Matthew West, and in it, he talked about how growing up, he was sure he was going to be a professional baseball player. He was told all the way through his schooling and high school and everything that he would be scouted and he would be chosen for a college team and maybe even get a college scholarship. And that didn't happen. And it was just kind of a shocker to him. And so his life just turned on a different trajectory, and he started being more passionate about music. And he found a deep inspiration, and he found a grateful new experience in singing and songwriting more and more. And so it took him on a totally different path than he expected. And he's a successful musician today as a result. And I think it's because he expressed appreciation and gratitude for where life took him rather than the expected life that he thought he would lead for sure. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. I mean, I know myself growing up, I had a big plan for my life. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I knew the schooling I needed to do to get there. I knew what I wanted my home life to look like. And I'll tell you, my life looks nothing at all like what I expected it to look. Not at all. But I have been very blessed. I've had great experiences that I've been able to enjoy. And what God's plan has been for my life has been more wonderful and bountiful than I could have ever imagined myself. And so we've got to take a look at our dreams. And when those dreams don't come true, we've got to see, well, what is here? What is true? What are we experiencing that we can be grateful for and capitalize on that? And when you do that, it will increase your joy. When you practice that gratitude, it will not only increase your joy, but there's studies that show that you'll have higher energy levels when you are a grateful person. Grateful people have more enthusiasm. Obviously, they're going to be very enthusiastic about life. And grateful people have greater determination towards their goals in life. So you can have those goals and dreams, even if they change, even if circumstances change. But when you're grateful about what's going on day to day in your life, you have more determination in reaching those goals. And, that is going to make you in life more successful, either at work or at home or whatever you're doing. So, first of all, know that living in gratitude is a choice and take that action every single day. So, secondly, living in gratitude is a significant way to feel better even during the most challenging times. Life is not always easy. That there are ways you can stay grateful and positive, even when you may be dealing with an illness or may be dealing with emotional issues, anxiety. Maybe there's challenging things in your relationships, whatever it is that you're struggling with. If you choose to live in gratitude through those moments, it can work out to be a positive thing as well. So, being appreciative has always had powerful effects on your physical body. Research shows that gratitude can lower your blood pressure, it can give you fewer aches and pains, and it can actually improve your immunity. And so, being grateful during an illness or when you're faced with an illness can kind of sound funny, kind of sound strange, but it does mean that you recognize and appreciate the moments in life that make living worthwhile. You can, in that illness or in that difficult situation or in the strife or moment that you're experiencing anxiety or emotional difficulties, when you choose to look for what you can be grateful for, when you choose to be thankful for something, it can just take the focus off of what's going on and give you that boost of energy, that boost of enthusiasm, and help you to overcome those situations as well. One of the things I like to talk about using when we're dealing with those frustrations and those difficult moments is using at least statements. So you pull yourself out of that negativity and into positivity by thinking of something at least in the moment. For example, you're anxious about your future and your stress and your fear is starting to overwhelm you because you're not sure what the future holds. So tell yourself, at least I know I can get through today. At least I have what I need for today. I have what I need for right now, and I will stop worrying about tomorrow. At least I have today. I've got a friend that has a great program called I Have Today, and it's so important to be thankful for what you have here and now rather than getting into that anxiety and stress about the future. Another way to look at it is you find out you may have a chronic illness and you need to make some major adjustments in your life in order to deal with that illness. Well, you can tell yourself, at least there's something I can do about it. At least I can make some changes to deal with this problem, and I'll be here to see my grandchildren grow up along the way. So those at least statements are good at kind of shifting your focus off the negativity and onto the positive aspect of whatever the problem, the challenge is that you're dealing with. I'll never forget in April of 2018, I injured my knee real badly slipping on ice. We had a late spring ice storm and I slipped on ice. I could barely walk, but I was determined to do whatever I could in order to get that knee healed up so that I could walk, because I had scheduled a trip with my aunt and my niece to go to Europe that summer. And so I was just determined. I did everything I could. And when we went to Europe the end of July, we had a great time together. I was able to walk. And ever since then, nearly every day, I just am thankful for the ability to walk. And I thank God for that ability and that He healed me and helped me get through that situation. So as you practice living in gratitude, even through these difficult situations, you'll find that you're more able to see what's right about each moment rather than just paying attention to the negative. And as you do it more frequently, it will become easier and easier for you to live this way, live in gratitude throughout your day, every day, no matter what the day brings. So thirdly, living in gratitude can help you connect with others on a deeper level. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever recently, just think about the last few days, have you thanked anybody for something that they did? Have you thanked a friend or a family member? Showing someone appreciation is an easy way to start a conversation, and over time, it can deepen your friendships and relationships with people. There's many people in our lives that deserve our appreciation. Make a commitment to thank your friends, thank your family members every day, or at least as often as possible. We've been taught it's important to say thank you, but I think when we get caught up in the day-to-day grind, we take a lot for granted and we don't say thank you often enough. It's just easy to forget those personal connections, especially with people that we see every day, like our coworkers or our family members. When someone does something for you and you say thank you to them, being grateful can make that person actually feel better too. It strengthens your relationship with each other, and it takes you on to maybe even more situations where you want to do stuff for each other because you are grateful in those things. So, living in gratitude is just about living with an awareness and appreciation for your life as it is now. When you're living in gratitude, you look at what's going well in your life right now and you appreciate it. And if something's not quite right, living in gratitude can help you deal with those issues, and it can get you to a place of calmness rather than panic. Living in gratitude allows you to think before responding to situations that might come up and to figure out other ways of looking at things. So remember, living in gratitude is a choice, it's an action, and it's one of the most powerful ways that you can increase your joy. Living in gratitude is a significant way to feel better physically and emotionally, even during the most challenging times. And living in gratitude can help you connect with others on a deeper level and strengthen your relationships with your friends and with your family. Living in gratitude and living with joy are two of the most important attitudes that we can actually choose in life. When you live in gratitude, you can have a deeper connection with others, strengthen those relationships, have more meaningful life, and just feel better all around, even on those days that you're not feeling well or that you're emotionally spent. I hope this message has been helpful for you and helped you to understand these powerful concepts around living in gratitude. I hope you find a way to apply them in your own life so that you can experience greater joy. I know it can seem overwhelming, but I really encourage you to take heart because everybody goes through struggles of one kind or another, and we all have similar ups and downs in life. It's just those who choose to have joy, those who choose to have gratitude, can have a better resilience and take those things on a little bit better. There's a verse in the Bible, 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." And I made a smartphone wallpaper of it, and I just like to have that reminder on my phone every time I turn my phone on. And so I'll post it here so you can have that reminder too, that we are to give thanks in all situations, in all circumstances, because that's God's will for us in Christ Jesus. I'll post it below here too. Feel free to swipe it and take it and use it as a reminder for yourself as well. So it's always good to remember that joy and living in gratitude as well isn't something that simply happens to us. We have to choose joy. We have to choose to live in gratitude and keep choosing those things every single day.